Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Overcast skies as we look live from Channel 11's Tower Cam, and snow is going to be pushing through tonight, and it could impact your plans. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh.
And I'm Catherine Amenta. Let's get right to meteorologist Danielle Dozier pinpointing when that snow will begin to fall.
Catherine and Gordon, that snow is going to be coming in later on tonight. Out there right now, it is dry and it's cold. The good news about today is that the wind is calm, so the wind chill is right at the air temperature at just 19 degrees. We still have to have the layers and the heavier coats on this afternoon. Temperature-wise, we're looking at 19 in Butler, 21 in Indiana, and 23 in Washington. You mentioned that snow. It does come in mainly after 10 p.m. for the area. Here's a snapshot at 1 a.m. You can see that snow there, and the areas in white indicate where it could be more moderate in intensity, and I am expecting that to take place as we head into your Tuesday morning commute, with Pittsburgh seeing snow, Butler, Beaver, Newcastle the same, and that snow does continue through mid to late morning before eventually tapering off from west to east. Coming up, I'll walk you through the rest of our timeline, and I'll let you know the updates to the snowfall forecast coming up.
We're going to fight not for one part of Pennsylvania, not for one party of Pennsylvania, but for one Pennsylvania.
And with that, Lieutenant Governor and former Braddock Mayor John Fetterman says he is running for U.S. Senate. We've known the Democrat was eyeing a run since early last month. The race for Republican Pat Toomey's seat is already considered the most competitive in the country. Channel 11's Mike Holden has more on the message Fetterman hopes will add up to votes.
It's official. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman took to social media and his own personal website announcing his run for Senate. He says he's a man of the people, and he can't wait to show his leadership that he says will take Pennsylvania to the next level.
Fetterman wears Braddock on his sleeves.
Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman broke the news on Twitter this morning. In a 2.5-minute long video, he highlighted his beloved community of Braddock and his ongoing efforts to fight for all of Pennsylvania. He thanked the grassroots donors, simply saying, "Now it's my turn, let's get to work." Fetterman says he's running for Senate in 2022 for the same reason he ran for lieutenant governor in 2018 and mayor of Braddock 16 years ago. He says he believes in core truths. He's pushing for higher minimum wage, improved health care, immigration protections, LGBTQIA+ rights, and decriminalizing the use of marijuana. He hopes his message carries far beyond party lines.
And I'm running for the Senate because of those same core values. That's why I showed up here in Braddock 20 years ago, and whether that's minimum wage, whether that's health care as a fundamental human right, whether that is ending the crazy war on drugs, here, especially communities of color.
And this is actually Senator Pat Toomey's seat. He announced that he was not running for re-election. We're now tracking the ongoing race and other potential candidates, plus their message to undecided voters for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
This week, Pennsylvania will try to build on a record week for COVID vaccine distribution. Nearly 1 million people in Pennsylvania have had at least the first dose. Health officials say it's probably even higher since there's a lag in reporting. The state expects to receive 175,000 doses, first doses this week. That would be about 20,000 more than last week.
Meanwhile, the Steelers and the NFL are in talks to make Heinz Field a vaccination site. The NFL sent a letter to President Biden saying all league stadiums are available. 7 are already being used as vaccination sites. And a hopeful trend today in the battle against COVID. Since January, COVID cases are down 61% across the country, and hospital stays have dropped 42%. But as those more infectious variants spread and vaccinations lag behind demand, and new partners like the NFL are stepping up to help in the fight, NBC's Tom Costello has more on the race to vaccinate.
The NFL is looking to help tackle the vaccine rollout, offering all 30 stadiums as mass vaccination sites, each expected to inoculate thousands of people each day. The country's vaccine supply may soon get a boost as well. Pfizer expected to cut its vaccine production time almost in half, from 110 days to about 60, as some people are struggling to receive their second doses on time.
I see other people getting the second shot, so I need my second shot.
The bottleneck has some health experts calling for a delay of second doses, instead prioritizing getting single shots into as many arms as possible. But Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning against that.
You can do both. you can get as many people in their first dose at the same time as adhering within reason to the timetable of the second dose.
Upping the vaccine urgency, one study, which has yet to be peer-reviewed, finds the UK strain appears to be spreading fast, doubling in the U.S. every 10 days. With more than 600 Americans already infected, that variant is expected to become the dominant strain by March. One other note here, the AstraZeneca vaccine apparently is not very effective against the South African strain of the virus. In fact, in South Africa, they've stopped using the AstraZeneca vaccine because of that. So while we don't have the AstraZeneca vaccine in the United States, the fact that it's not effective against this mutating strain is a big concern. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
And be sure to join us on our WPXI Now app every Friday night this month as we bring you the latest information on the race to vaccinate here in Western PA. Our special reports will begin at 8 p.m.
A man considered one of Chicago's most wanted is behind bars in Pittsburgh. An undercover operation led to the arrest of Randall Langston. He was using the name Chicago when investigators say he sold 50 bricks of heroin to a police informant in Highland Park. Langston is accused of selling fentanyl-laced drugs in Illinois before going on the run in 2019. Court records show that a judge has denied him bail. Family and friends are continuing their search for Thomas Hughes. They combed through the south side over the weekend. Hughes is from Beachview and has been missing since January 23rd. Police released this video last week showing Hughes at a gas station on the night he disappeared, though police have not said which gas station this was. His family found his van with the keys in the ignition at the entrance of the Three Rivers Heritage Trail on the south side. They are offering a $5,000 reward for information.
Police in Lawrence County are asking for your help in solving a murder. A man was found shot in an alley off of Marshall Avenue in Newcastle on Saturday night. He passed away a short time later. So far, no arrests. Well, two Good Samaritans are recovering this afternoon after they were hurt trying to help a driver on 70. It's a terrible looking scene. According to the Trib, the drivers pulled over to help somebody whose car broke down on the Bell Vernon Spears Bridge on Saturday. But then another car came up behind them and crashed, causing a chain reaction, pushing the cars into the men who were trying to help. One of them is a West Newton police officer who was on his way to work. Amazingly, no one was seriously injured.
New at noon for the second time in less than a week, TSA officers caught a man with a gun at the security checkpoints at Pittsburgh International. The TSA says the gun was loaded with 5 bullets. It was spotted on the X-ray machine's monitor inside a Wexford man's carry-on bag. He is facing federal fines. Last week, an El Equipa man was caught with a gun in his carry-on. It's a big week in Washington. Former President Trump's impeachment trial starts tomorrow, and Democrats start laying out what COVID relief will look like, including new payments for parents. NBC's Tracy Potts breaks it all down for us.
Recovery package, but
Democrats are preparing to vote on COVID relief in 2 weeks, including stimulus payments. In an interview with CBS Evening News, President Biden said the payments will phase out based on income.
it's somewhere between an individual making up to 75 and phasing out and a couple making up to 150 and phasing out. But again, I'm wide open on what that is.
The president admits this bill will not raise the minimum wage, but Democrats are planning to add new child payments up to $3,600 paid monthly starting in July. Republicans argue the $1.9 trillion plan costs too much.
Sometimes a cure is worse than a disease.
Stimulus talks continue as the Senate prepares for the Trump impeachment trial to begin tomorrow.
I think this is a very bad idea. 45 plus Republicans are going to vote early on that it's unconstitutional.
A handful of Republicans say they'll be impartial jurors.
I'm going to listen to the arguments on both sides and make the decision that I think is right.
Those arguments may or may not include witnesses.
There will already be over 100 witnesses present, and those will be the House and Senate members.
But getting 17 Republicans to convict still seems unlikely. Senate Democrats say they're leaving it up to House managers, the prosecutors in this case, to decide if they want to call witnesses. But the managers have yet to say. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Pennsylvania college students could soon be eligible for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. The Department of Human Services is expected to expand the SNAP program today. Students would qualify based on their family's income. SNAP helps families buy healthy food. A company that does legal billing services for UPMC is now offering free credit monitoring for some patients after a reported security breach. 36,000 UPMC patients may have had some of their personal information viewed. This includes social security numbers, financial information, and medical records. The breach happened at Charles J. Hilton and Associates. They provide billing services for UPMC. So patients are asked to monitor their accounts for suspicious activity.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have dethroned the Kansas City Chiefs to win Super Bowl 55. The win gives Tom Brady a record 7 Super Bowl championships. And, of course, there were celebrations all over Tampa after the victory. And so much for the mayor's order there requiring masks. This had been a big concern among health officials before last night's game. It would be about a week or two before we could see a potential spike in COVID cases. This week, we'll be keeping an eye on developments out of the Steelers headquarters. ESPN is reporting that Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers will meet sometime this week. Both have talked about Ben's willingness to return. Ben's paycheck would be something that would need to be worked on.
I look at my face and see this pretty intense scar and, go to bed and just lay there in anger.
A drunk driver sentenced for hitting a marathon runner. Why the victim doesn't think the punishment fits the crime.
It can happen to you. COVID's going to find you. It found me.
Months after he was diagnosed with COVID, this man is still struggling. The brain fog side effect.
And I'm tracking that snow that's moving in later tonight. I'm updating my snowfall forecast and letting you know when the snow moves in and then moves out.
And nothing has gone untouched by COVID. The challenges warming centers and homeless shelters are facing to keep everybody safe. Welcome back on this Monday afternoon. The federal government will make a major push this week, sending 1 million vaccine doses to pharmacies across the country. Those doses will go to select CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Walmart, Costco, and some grocery stores. Now, you do have to still be eligible under the state guidelines, but if you are, you can make an appointment with the pharmacies online, over the phone, or if they have an app.
It will look a little bit different than, say, getting a flu shot where you can just walk in and ask for it. We're going to ask patients to actually book an appointment.
To meet the need, Pfizer said they will be able to increase vaccine production by 50% in the coming days.
We're learning more about the struggles of people diagnosed with COVID-19. Some have issues that persist even months after they've tested positive. Reporter CJ Lemaster takes a closer look at the impact brain fog is having.
It's been a month since Gary Harretts tested positive for COVID-19. Even then, asking if he's better is all relative, he says.
My short-term memory is just gone. When I'm even texting with my daughter, I have to scroll up and continue to read what I already told her so that I know what we're even talking about. And even still today, with this interview, I've got a notebook sitting right here.
It's something doctors call COVID brain fog, cognitive decline associated with the virus, and it's far more severe than just forgetting a word or two.
With cooking, if you walk away from the stove, you may forget that you're making something at all. And when you add in not being able to smell, then you wouldn't know if something is burning.
Harretts says he even put his medications in the middle of the floor so he'd see them and remember to take them. Those lingering effects are something Lieutenant Carlos DePuma can relate to also. Impacts to his breathing and memory still persist 2 months later.
I can't even get on the treadmill for like 5 minutes. I'm done.
DePuma was diagnosed in December, eventually spending 5 days in the hospital because he couldn't breathe.
If my wife hadn't been home, I wouldn't have made it. I could breathe out, but I couldn't get nothing back in.
Harretts said the monoclonal antibody treatment, which he took because he's high risk, saved his life. Now both are using their experiences to hopefully persuade others to wear masks, distance themselves, and get the vaccine.
It can happen to you. COVID's going to find you. It found me, and I don't know too many people who have been more careful than I have.
I'm telling you from experience, I feel like you're fixing to lose your life. Wear these masks.
People in Virginia, Maryland, and D.C., they're digging out again after a fresh round of snow fell over the weekend, coming down pretty good there. And heavy bands of snow blew into New York City yesterday, at times falling up to 2 inches an hour. And the weather also canceled COVID vaccinations throughout New York and New Jersey. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier will have more on the snow that's heading our way in a moment. But first, Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond learned that warming shelters will have their hands full over these next few days, helping the community while also following COVID guidelines.
Tucked away in Pittsburgh's Allentown neighborhood is the home of Abiding Missions. When the high temp dips below 28 degrees, this place opens its doors as a center to get warm.
You came in with a mask, that's step one. And then we have to check temperatures.
Jordan Lake showed us the changes they made because of COVID-19. They wipe down surfaces and keep people distanced. The space even allows people to bundle up on a pew to get some sleep. Abiding Missions has been on Excelsior Street for the last 7 years. Before that, it was on the north side.
The need goes from anyone who is homeless, needs somewhere to stay during the day before the night shelters open, to just any neighbors who might have furnace problems.
Again, when the high temperature is below 28 degrees, Abiding Missions opens up its warming center from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. They also have food and coffee for people. They've been averaging less than 10 people each time this warming center is open. While they do want to spread the word about this place, they also want to keep it intimate. Tonight at 5, the lives they've been able to touch here by keeping things small and personal. Reporting in Pittsburgh's Allentown neighborhood, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, happy Monday. Taking a look at our visible satellite right now, you can see all those clouds that are streaming in from the west. We have certainly thickened those up after the afternoon sunshine we had yesterday. That was nice to enjoy. The cloud cover, of course, will keep the temperatures down. We also have had a front that's moved through in that Arctic air. We've got a little piece of it out there this morning with some single-digit low temperatures. Right now in Pittsburgh, it is 19. In Greensburg, it's 27. 23 in Indiana. Looks like here in the city and up in Butler, we're kind of lagging behind everyone else in the temperature department. What I can tell you is we do look to climb into the mid to upper 20s throughout the afternoon. We're going to keep a mostly cloudy sky. We'll also keep it dry through the rest of your day if you do have any outdoor plans. For tonight, hour by hour, those temperatures will be falling down to about 23 to 24 degrees here late tonight, and during the early overnight, we may actually see a slight rise into tomorrow morning, but it'll still be cold enough for your coat out there early tomorrow with the low down to about 23. Snow will be developing, especially after about 10-11 p.m., and those winds will be light overnight tonight. Here's a look at our storm tracker maps as we head into the overnight period. A snapshot at 1 a.m. You can see that snow here in Pittsburgh, Beaver, and Butler. Contanning, Indiana, you're dealing with the snow. In Greensburg, you're also going to be running into the snow as well. As you head out the door tomorrow morning, it's 4:30. We've got the snow in Pittsburgh, Beaver, Butler, Katanning. I do believe it will fill in as the morning wears on. Places like Washington, Greensburg, and Waynesburg will get some snow. Our model data has been hinting at a little bit of warm air coming in from the south. So places like Morgantown and southern Fayette County looking to get a little bit of either rain or a little freezing rain mixed in with that snow, which I think will ultimately cut down on the totals down around the Morgantown area. Meanwhile, Indiana, some steadier snow through there at that point. And here's noon. You can see the steady snow here in our eastern counties, places like Indiana, the ridges of Westmoreland and Fayette counties. And then in the afternoon, we could still see a few lingering light snow showers or scattered flurries. My forecast here for the snowfall going about 1 to 4 inches area wide. I do expect that there will be a band of heavier snow that sets up near Washington, Washington County, and Pittsburgh in toward the Greensburg area, where we'll see 2 to 3, maybe as high as 4 inches, especially here in central Westmoreland County, down into extreme southern Westmoreland County. Kind of the area right in here is where some of the data has been showing maybe 3 to 4 inches, but definitely in this zone in blue that I've drawn, I think we could get as high as about 3, maybe 4. As you go north, we drop off the totals about 1 to 2 inches for places like Newcastle and in toward northern Butler County, and then down here to the south, 1 to 2 inches, with less than an inch there along the border and down into the Morgantown area. Tomorrow, temperature-wise, we're in the upper 20s to low 30s here in Pittsburgh, about freezing, Greensburg freezing, and you factor in the wind chill to the air temperature. It'll feel like the 20s across the area, not only in the morning, but also in the afternoon. So layer up. Here's the 5-day forecast. Your weekend always in view. 25 with some more snow showers building in for Wednesday evening. Thursday, Friday looks snowy as well. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll take a look at the hourly forecast for that snow as we head through the middle of the week, and a closer look at your Valentine's Day forecast.
We're excited. It's a new way of doing things.
Lent starts next week, and local groups are getting ready for fish fries. What's changing, though, because of the pandemic?
It was unbelievable. I saw a hand smashed my back glass.
A bold smash and grab robbery right in the middle of traffic coming up.
Welcome back on this Monday afternoon. The USDA has issued a major recall on salad products. Nearly 7,000 pounds of ready-to-eat dip and salad products from a company in Illinois called Food Evolution may not be safe to eat. They say they were, quote, produced without the benefit of federal inspection. That includes taco dip, German-style potato salad with bacon, and Italian pasta. There have been no reported illnesses. A warning from state police this afternoon. Thieves are pretending to be customer service reps from Amazon to steal your money. State police say a scammer called a person in Indiana County and said that they were having a problem with a purchase and they would need their account information. Well, thank goodness that person figured out it was all a scam and called police. State police told us they've received 3 of these reports so far, and they say make sure you're always talking with your family members and make sure you know what everybody in the household is purchasing, and verify the phone call before sharing any of your personal information.
An unbelievable smash and grab robbery in San Francisco. Cars were heading onto a ramp Friday, and you could see a black Honda pulls up next to a silver Toyota Prius. Someone gets out and smashes the back window right there, grabbing a bag, and then they hop back into the black car, speeding off. The victim was not hurt, but the thieves did take some pricey camera equipment and a drone.
It was unbelievable. I saw a hand smashed my back glass, and the hand was trying to steal my camera bag. I don't have a gun. Even if I had a gun, I couldn't react in 10 seconds.
The victim had just used that equipment at a nearby park, so it's likely the thief followed the victim when he left the park knowing what he had in the back of the car.
Well, it's dry right now, but as the snow moves in tonight, it's going to be the start of a period of active weather for our area. We'll time out more snow on the way coming up.
I wasn't even maybe 100 yards from beginning my run whenever I was hit.
Training for a marathon she would never get to run. The sentence for the drunk driver who hit her and why she thinks it's not enough. Welcome back. Live look from the Channel 11 Tower Cam. Overcast right now, but it's the start of a busy week of winter weather. That snow moves in tonight, Gordon.
Yeah, meteorologist Danielle Dozier tracking the timing and how much snow you could see in your neighborhood. Danielle?
Yeah, and that snow will stick, of course, to any untreated surfaces because the air temperatures have been so cold lately, guys. We're looking at upper teens and low to mid 20s out there right now. It feels a little bit cooler. We have a light wind today, but if you factor in a 2-3 mile per hour wind to the air temperature, it will feel just a bit cooler. So this is a look at your wind chills out the door right now. Snow does develop, particularly after about 10 to 11 p.m. comes in from the west, and here's a snapshot at 1:30 a.m. where we are dealing with periods of snow in Pittsburgh and Washington, places like Katanning. That snow will be occurring out the door tomorrow morning. Here's 4:30 in the morning, and the areas in white actually represent where the snow actually could be coming down steady and perhaps a little more moderate in intensity as well. Now, I do expect this snow to continue through mid to late morning, and there will be a couple of inches of snow that will be occurring by the time it's all said and done. We're looking at about 2 to 3 inches, I think, for Pittsburgh area with slightly higher totals. I'll have my snowfall forecast map to show you neighborhood by neighborhood how much you could get. Plus, we'll take a look at that other active weather coming in for the middle of the week.
It's not just the act of running and putting steps in, it's doing something you love and that makes you feel good.
A drunk driver hit this marathon runner, leaving her with serious injuries. That driver was sentenced to jail, but the victim says the punishment does not fit the crime. She has been on the road to recovery for the last 19 months and isn't done yet. The person who hit her will spend just 90 days behind bars. She shared her story and her plans to move forward only with Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca.
For more than 10 days, Caroline Toplak laid in a hospital bed recovering after she was running and training for a marathon and she was hit by a drunk driver. A year and a half later, the driver has been sentenced, and she tells me why the worst day of her life has now made her stronger. Caroline Toplak looks a lot different today than she did a year and a half ago when she was lying in a hospital bed. She still has a scar that runs down her face, and it's a reminder of the day she was hit by a drunk driver.
And I would look at my face and see this pretty intense scar and, go to bed and just lay there in anger.
She was training for the Chicago Marathon and went for a run in Beaver County. That's when she was hit. She had a broken leg, severe road rash, a shoulder injury, and a severe head injury.
A lot of the bones were essentially shattered. They were really severe injuries. And so as a result of that, I also had a traumatic brain injury.
She had to learn to walk again and made physical therapy her full-time job. And eventually, she wanted to run again.
The first time I ran a mile was pretty exhilarating. This is coming from a person that's run 5 marathons.
During that time, the impending sentencing of the woman who hit her was looming. The suspect was sentenced to just 3 months in jail.
At the end of the day, I think, consequences are important when your actions really disrupt a person's life. In my case, my life will be forever changed.
For now, Caroline's focusing on what she can control, and that's getting stronger. Since the accident, she's competed in a 5K and a 10-mile race, and now feels a new sense of confidence when she sees her scar in the mirror.
It's just more empowering now to know that I've kind of come through this. I'm still coming through it, but that I can get to the other side.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
Powerful story, powerful message, Gabriella. Thank you. More than 64,000 people in Pennsylvania nursing homes have tested positive for COVID, and at least 10,000 have died. And today, advocates will demand the state do more to protect our most at risk. Nurses and caregivers in nursing homes say they need help from the state to do it, and they're calling for some updates to state regulations. They say they want to see increased hours for staffing requirements from 2.7 hours per day to 4.1, a 6-month stockpile of PPE, and equality for communities of color. Last month, the Wolf administration started a task force and asked the federal government for more money, which ended on December 31st. Advocates will be outlining their calls for change this afternoon. Be sure to look for the developing details tonight, starting at 5 on Channel 11 News.
As Pennsylvania continues to struggle getting COVID-19 vaccines into the arms of its residents, the state legislature is advancing a bill calling on the National Guard to step in. State Rep Tim O'Neill of Washington County sponsored the bill. It would give the Guard authority to set up and operate mass clinics. The bill passed the House on Friday. It now heads to the Senate. The PA National Guard has played a big role in the pandemic, from food distribution to helping nursing homes that were facing outbreaks.
The pandemic will change the fish fry tradition for Lent this year. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer shows us the COVID guidelines local churches and fire halls are taking to keep people safe.
At first, we didn't think we were going to be able to do it, but we got the go-ahead.
Lots of excitement at St. Teresa of Calcutta Parish in Beachview as they prepare to roll out this year's fish fry. The annual tradition not prohibited this year, but not the same as the pre-pandemic years.
We're going to do temperature checks, make sure we're following all the guidelines.
Coordinator Debbie Brust says they'll encourage customers to call or email orders in advance, and then it's takeout only. She says they'll be prepping as much as they can Thursdays and with less help.
Usually we have like 40 people here working, so we're going to cut it down to 10 here and 10 out there. So that's going to be a lot of extra work. Trying to get as much done to make it as smooth on our workers and on the customers as possible, because we appreciate people coming and supporting our parish.
Folks will come in through here. They'll immediately see this sign telling them they have to wear their mask and distance. To help, there are green pieces of tape on the floor separated by 6 feet. Allegheny County recently put out a reminder that all fish fries must have a permit. Some organizations, however, are opting not to hold theirs at all, like the Bethany Evangelical Lutheran Church here, which tells me they canceled as too many of their volunteers are in high-risk groups. Elsewhere, the Hampton Volunteer Fire Department #1 is operating theirs like a drive-through.
You just show up. We're going to have our fire police men and women outside directing traffic, telling people where to pull in, where to pull out, where to park.
Coordinator Heather Paxton says to minimize contact when you place your order, all prices are whole dollar amounts. One thing the pandemic hasn't changed, that money goes to a good cause.
Things for our firefighters, like jackets for our fire police, and firefighters are standing out battling cold weather. All of those purchases come from the money that we raise during our fish fry.
Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
A great reason to dig in. The Diocese of Pittsburgh says all of their fish fries will be takeout and delivery only. We have a running list of the fish fries in our area. You can check it out at WPXI.com. Enjoy.
Bitter cold will move in this week, and that means there's potential for some trouble at home. How to prevent cold weather problems.
And a woman arrested after she refused to wear a mask. Why police say that's not why she was taken into custody.
Gas prices continue to climb. They're now up more than 5 cents in the past 2 weeks. The national average price for regular gas now sits around $2.50 a gallon. A jump in oil prices will keep prices higher at the pump throughout the month. Here in the Pittsburgh area, the average price is $2.77 a gallon. That is up about 6 cents from last week. The CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods is looking ahead and says she will be the first to say that stores will be closed for Thanksgiving. It's a way to say thank you to workers and encourage everyone to spend time with their family. They say they will be open for Black Friday.
An Ohio woman is facing charges this afternoon after refusing to leave a grocery store because she didn't have a mask on.
Stop resisting.
Police were called after the woman refused to put on her mask inside a grocery store near Cleveland. The store at first asked her to leave. She didn't, so they called police. She then refused to leave when the officers came, so they arrested her on trespassing charges.
Oh, I can't wait to see you.
You don't want to provide IDs.
Oh, trust and believe, honey.
Police say she wasn't taken into custody because she refused to put the mask on. It's because she wouldn't leave the store after management asked her to.
Coming up in my Severe Weather Team 11 forecast, we will take a look at that active weather slated to move in later on in the week, the hour-by-hour timeline.
If you live in Pittsburgh city limits, you know that when it snows, some streets aren't getting enough salt. Others are being missed entirely. Target 11 investigates the problem. For nearly 2 years, Target 11 has been tracking problems with Pittsburgh's snow removal system, and there have been more troubling issues this winter.
And with more snow on the way this week, Target 11 investigator Rick Earl went to city leaders for some answers.
City salt truck drivers tell Target 11 they continue to have problems with that automated salt spreader system installed 2 years ago to cut down on salt usage. They say it's still not dropping enough salt. City Councilman Anthony Coghill found out about it the hard way after that Christmas Day snowstorm.
Well, it started with emails and then phone calls and you name it, all kind of people screaming out my door. So yeah, it was a rough day, and rightfully so. I mean, the people couldn't get off their hill, they couldn't go to work.
Coghill discovered what Target 11 first reported in 2018. The #1 complaint from drivers, he says, was that the automated system doesn't allow them to drop enough salt, especially in areas of the city with steep terrain like the South Hills.
You know, as steep as they are, and a lot of it has to do with Mother Nature. You know, the way that rained and then froze and then snowed on top of it. So it was tough to control, and it required more salt.
And the mayor's chief of staff acknowledging the challenges.
There is no doubt there's been frustration on the part of the drivers, and I can assure you on the part of the mayor that it hasn't worked the way the contractor has promised, and we are working those things out.
Another big complaint Target 11 exposed: when drivers stop, the spreader stops and doesn't engage until the truck reaches a certain speed, leaving the roadway untreated. Gilman says they've made changes. Drivers can now override the system and put it in manual to drop more salt. For all of the problems with the $1.4 million system, Gilman maintains it's more efficient.
A lot of trucks were dropping salt so quickly, they could never finish the route they were on, and they were spending so much time driving back to get more salt and then putting down too much.
In a news release just last year, the city bragged about the new system, saying it saved them more than $1 million in the cost of salt.
I'm all for saving money, but I'm all for putting enough salt down more than anything.
And Target 11 uncovered some new issues. Drivers still don't have GPS screens to show designated routes, and that has led to some missed streets. When will they go in?
I don't want to make an exact commitment, but this winter season.
And Gilman says during the Christmas storm, they had trouble getting enough workers. So every DPW worker is now being trained to drive a salt truck. And the department implemented a text notification system. If enough workers don't respond, the city can now call in private contractors.
I'm a lot more confident for the next snowstorm. I think we're much better prepared.
And the city says some of those changes appear to be working. After that snow last week, they say they got the fewest complaints in more than a decade. In the Strip District, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
And Rick reached out to the company. They said they don't have a role in the specification, maintenance, and warranty of the spreader control system. They told us to contact the city.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Welcome back into weather. Taking a look at our national temperatures, and this is just a very interesting map that tells the story of the cold and that Arctic air that's been plunging down to the south, and we're getting a piece of it here in Pittsburgh. It's 19, but nowhere near as cold as in the northern plains right now. For this afternoon, we're checking out the temperatures, and we're going to go from 19 here at the noon hour to the mid-20s later on today. We will keep an overcast sky, but as you see, the temperatures won't be climbing a whole lot more. So if you are out walking Fido, make sure you have your heavier coat on. For tonight, low temperatures will be falling down into the lower 20s with about 22 in Greensburg, 23 in Indiana, 23 in Pittsburgh. We may actually see them either hold steady or rise slightly into tomorrow morning. But what I am expecting is the temperature to stay well below freezing, which means those road temperatures will as well. And any snow that does come in during the overnight period will begin to stick on any untreated surfaces. Snow does start to move in mainly after 10 p.m. It comes in from the west, and that snow will be filling in overnight as many of us are sleeping. And here's a look at 5 a.m. So if you have an early start to the day, you may be dealing with some of the snow and the reduced visibility. Areas in white across this map show where the snow will be coming down steady and perhaps a little bit more moderate in intensity. The grays are a little less as far as the intensity of the snowfall. So we begin to see that here fill in at 9 o'clock in the morning for places like Uniontown, Greensburg, in Indiana, and that snow continues to move off to the east through the early afternoon. We're still kind of dealing with the steadier snow, though, in eastern Westmoreland, Indiana, and Fayette counties, but we are starting to see things wind down in terms of steadier snow for the rest of the area as we head through mid-afternoon. I still think we could have a few passing flurries or light snow showers through the later part of the day. Here's my snowfall forecast. In general, 1 to 4 inches, but it depends on where you're at. Up along the I-80 corridor, about 1 to 2 inches. Down south in far southern Greene and Fayette counties, about 1 to 2, and then less than that, because I think we could actually have a little bit of mixing trying to take place here along the border, which would cut down on the snow totals. Something else I've been noticing since the weekend model data and the model data today is I think there's going to be this area right in this area of blue that I have drawn in where we could have about 2 to 3 inches, maybe as high as 4 inches. So we'll be watching that closely. You can see here tomorrow temperatures are going to be getting closer to that freezing mark in the afternoon. If you're out for a walk, high temperature here in Pittsburgh, 32 and about 32 in Greensburg, 29 in Butler and 30 in Beaver for tomorrow. I mentioned the weather is going to continue to be active. I do expect more snow to move in, especially as we head into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. It will be snowing across our area, and these snow showers are actually expected to continue all the way through the weekend, where on our Valentine's Day we could be dealing with some snow showers around in the morning. I have drastically modified the temperatures from the weekend forecast for Valentine's Day, now up to 16 at 8 o'clock and low 20s for highs off the new model data. 5-day forecast, your weekend always in view, and you're going to notice some pretty cold weather sticking around through the end of the week as well as into the weekend. Guys.
All right, Danielle, thank you. And when the temperatures do drop, it's just a matter of time before some pipes will freeze, and we know that can be costly. When ice expands inside a pipe, it can crack and burst, leaving homeowners with a mess and a hefty bill. But Pennsylvania American Water says there are some things we can all do. They say wrap exposed pipes with insulation, eliminate sources of cold air near a water line, and allow a small trickle of water to run overnight.
Hey guys, when was the last time you said, oh my gosh, I got so much sleep last night, I feel amazing? Yeah, I can't remember when I said that either. I have 2 ways to help you get a much better night's sleep. This is a whole collection of sleep solutions by Blankwell, and this is 2 absolutely amazing concepts in pillows. Now, you know that when it comes to the quality of your sleep, your pillow is one of the most important things. It's the reason you see people taking them with them when they travel. So first of all, we have this pillow. So the one that you see that's blue on the inside has a really fabulous machine washable soft cover on the outside, but I wanted you to see the inside. This is the first ever machine washable and dryable memory foam bed pillow. Isn't that amazing? It's called Fresh. It's made to be super aerated and breathable, give you the support that you want, throw it in the washing machine and the dryer again and again and again. So if one of the things you're saying is, you know what, one of my biggest concern is I would love to be able to use a memory foam pillow, but I really want to be able to put it in the washing machine. Here you go. This one is perfect. I love everything they've done to really make this an updated design, and I know it's something that a lot of people have wanted. They love the memory foam, but they want to be able to throw it in the washer and dryer, something you couldn't do until now. Now, we also have another great concept for those of you saying, I need to quiet my mind. Aromatherapy, right? These are actually scented with essential oils, very softly, chamomile or lavender, in this, again, super breathable memory foam, so that when you put your head down to sleep, you're softly inhaling these things that just help you rest. 2 great solutions. By the way, these pillows are on localsteals.com right now at 50% off. How much is a good night's sleep worth to you? It's worth a lot to me, and now you can save a lot and get a lot of great solutions in one place.
Hershey Park has announced an opening date. They hope to start the season on April 2nd. This will be the park's 115th season. And that, of course, got us curious about Kennywood. According to their website, they plan to open on May 8th, but it's considered a tentative schedule.
A big Super Bowl bet we told you about on Friday has paid off. A businessman in Texas put down more than $3.4 million on the Bucks. As you know, the Bucks covered and the Houston man won $6 million. Is this the mattress guy?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
This guy's fantastic. This was the highest Super Bowl wager this year and just shy of the highest ever. This makes up for last year when he also bet against the Chiefs and lost $3 million.
So he came out ahead.
There you go.
Balance. That's going to do it for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.